time goes.
I show you that playtime is over. I let the games begin, salute me soldier. Now I'm the captain, and all I do is win. Ball for ball, you know I'm the champion. I show you that playtime is over. I let the games begin, salute me soldier. Now I'm the captain, and all I do is win. Ball for ball, you know I'm the champion. All I do is win, prick, no need to stay anonymous. A Jean-Claude Van Damme, man, I lay him in the projects. Hit him with these bars with that.
We are here. Oh my goodness, what is going on here in that state, y'all? Nothing but technical difficulties this morning. This is w.Spitter. Welcome to Spittin with Spitter bonus clip. How y'all feeling out there on this lovely Monday morning? Let me introduce my sponsor real quick. For all your vaping needs, go to 822 Nazareth Pike, Lehigh Vape. I'm sorry. Tell them TJ sent you. They have everything from hardware to juice. They also carry some CBD products. Now for my guest. You have your own book, Blood on the Razor Wire. Your own YouTube channel. Chad Marks, my guy, let's get into it. How you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing good, brother. Appreciate you having me on your show, man.
It's a blessing, man. I stumbled upon your videos in this deep YouTube hole, and I reached out to see if we can make this happen, and you accepted, and it's a blessing. I'd like to get started with how'd you get here? How did you get to the point where you have books and YouTube channels and things of that nature?
Well, at the age of 24, I was sentenced to a 40-year federal mandatory minimum in federal prison for a nonviolent drug crime. I spent 18 years in federal prison fighting that case. 18 years later, I was finally able to win an appeal. While I was in prison, I started writing that book, pretty much finished it while I was in prison. I got out 10 months ago, June 2020. And, you know, I just started pushing forward. I had a mission, man, to save kids from life imprisonment and premature death. And while I was in prison, I taught a lot of Leaders Breed Leaders classes, alternative violence project seminars. And when I got out of prison, I seen all these dudes with these YouTube prison channels, right? And I'm like, wow, that could be the perfect platform for me to do what I want to do. Right. You know, my intention was to come out and, you know, do this stuff in schools and recreation centers in the community. But because of COVID, all that stuff was dead. So the YouTube thing was like, it was perfect. And me personally being in jail so long, man, I used to hear people talk about YouTube and stuff like that, but I never knew what it was until I got out here. And, you know, I was able to put that stuff together, bro.
All right, so we're gonna go back a little bit, because you just don't go to being 24 years old getting federally indicted. It doesn't work that way. You know, so what was your upbringing like? Where did you come up at, and how'd you get introduced to the street life?
Well, I'm from Western New York, man, upstate Rochester area. Some people don't know where that is. Just think about the Buffalo Bills, man. We're in that area, right? I come from a very tough city, man. You know, poverty-stricken. My neighborhood that I'm from is called Ghost Town. Unfortunately, man, my father was a vicious drug addict. My mother became a single mother on welfare. My older brother had killed himself. So we had it rough, bro. You know what I mean? And at 13, I was tired of, you know, there was a point where I had 2 pairs of jeans, man, and 2 shirts. And I was tired of being poor, tired of being broke, and started selling fake cocaine and turned that into, you know, a little bit of money. Started selling real cocaine. Back then it was cocaine. And, you know, that's where I started on that street life, man. And, you know, like I tell people, man, I believe in that saying that you become a product of your environment. You know, my mother was a single mother on welfare. My father was a vicious drug addict, man, like a famous crackhead in my neighborhood. Crazy to say. But, you know, that set the path for me. And, you know, I would sell drugs to all my father's customers, man. And that's how I came up. And eventually I ended up going to state prison, went to New York State prison, came home. And then I, you know, jumped right back in the drug game. And eventually was indicted by the federal government, man.
What did they indict you on?
They originally indicted me on just a crack cocaine conspiracy. And I didn't accept the plea offer. There was a plea offer for 11 to 14. I didn't accept that. They superseded my indictment with 16 more counts. And my mandatory minimum went from 10 to 40. I ended up going to trial, blue trial. For those that don't know what blue trial means, I went to trial, lost, and the judge had to give me a 40-year mandatory minimum.
Jesus.
While in prison, I became a jailhouse lawyer, man. I spent most of my time in the law library. And, I was able to help at least 100 men get out of prison. But I could never obtain my own release, man. And it was wild. I had got a dude out from Jersey that was I got him out on clemency. And on the same day that he got clemency, I was denied clemency. So it was kind of like, wow. And at that point, I started thinking like, man, I'm probably never going to get out of here. The First Step Act got passed. When the First Step Act got passed, I ended up writing a motion to my judge. My judge responded and said that this was an extraordinary and compelling case that deserved an extraordinary remedy. And once that happened, the light bulbs went on. And I said, well, look, this is what they said in the First Step Act. You got to prove extraordinary and compelling reasons. And I actually practiced on another dude's case out of Texas. And I told him, man, we can practice, man, and see what happens. And I wrote it and I won. I won the first compassionate release motion in the country. And after that, there's just been thousands of dudes and women that have gotten out, including myself, man.
That's, I want to say two things. First and foremost, congratulations, because you didn't go in there and you didn't get stuck in your own head and you found a way to get out of that environment. That's huge, because I know a lot of people that go in there, like even myself, you get locked up and then it's the victim mentality. Now I'm here. There's nothing I could do about it.
Well, listen, man, when I've seen dudes like that, man, that had life for 40, 50 years and they give up, man. They're just out there playing basketball. Like, this is it, man. They're playing basketball during the day, playing chess at night, cooking, commissary food, and they just accept it. But I always used to say, I'm getting out of jail. And dudes would laugh, man. Some dudes would laugh behind my back, whatever. But I always used to say, hey, man, if I don't believe it, no one else will. I had to believe it, man.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Why were you so compelled to fight so hard? Is that just the hustler instinct in you?
That's what it is. I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people don't see it that way, man. But that's what it is, man. It's that hustler instinct. I don't ever stop, man.
Right.
Man. And, sometimes I dwell on things, right? I'll dwell on things for years, man. And I dwelled on my freedom, man, for 18 years. I filed every motion in the book. I went to that law library. I learned the law. And, eventually it ended up working out for me. When people said that it wouldn't, it did, man. It took a long time, but, I'm a firm believer that justice is always possible if you never give up. And that hustler mentality kept me working, man.
It's funny, like, my kids asked me today, like, because I don't sleep too much. Like I'm going. I always just go. They're like, I can't relax. I just think that's just something that's embedded in me, that even if I wanted to,
Oh, 100%. I'm the same way, man. I work 14, 15 hours a day. I've been home 10 months and I hit the ground running, man. I started a construction company, home improvement company. I started the paralegal and prison consultant firm, Freedom Fighters, with a lady that ran the Federal Defender's Office where I'm from, Lisa Jacoby. And I put the YouTube thing together, man. And really the YouTube thing is just kind of like, for me, man, it's a hobby, but I'm trying to help save people, man, for real, because I don't want to see kids go through what we went through, man. And I tell people, man, I don't know you, man, but I care enough about you to be here to tell you what it really is, instead of, all the glamorization or scared straight. And sometimes on my channel, most of the time, I have to talk about violence, but that's because that brings people into the fold. When I was a kid, when you start talking about violence, I'm tuned in, right?
So everybody want to listen now.
Yeah, now I want you to listen. But I also want you to get the message, man. And there's a message in every one of my videos, bro.
Most definitely. And that's the hit, right? Like, you could tune in for the mess, but you're going to get this message. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
One way or another.
For real, man. We got too many kids dying, man. Too many kids are dying in the street, man. And, we see all these people out all the time protesting. Hey, man, this innocent, unarmed black man was shot and killed. But let's keep it 100, bro. How many unarmed, not just black men, but white men and Hispanic men and women, and how many of them are killed in federal courtrooms, man, or state courtrooms across the country, man? You got non-violent drug offenders in federal prison with life sentences, bro. These people are being buried alive. We should be marching for that.
Buried alive, getting 50 years at a clip over some weed, and that shit about to be legal everywhere.
The crazy thing about that is, man, one of my partners, man, Jimmy Romans, I ended up writing his clemency petition. You probably see him on my Facebook page, but he had life, man, for weed. And a lot of people don't think that can happen. And, he ended up getting that sentence reduced to 30 years. And then I did his clemency petition and Trump released him. He just got released in January on the last day of Trump's administration. But, man, they will send your ass to prison, man, for life for marijuana, bro.
Like people look at it like it's not a game. It's a game for the jails to keep you in there because they are ultimately getting paid and paying salaries for inmates.
Well, like, think about it. I don't like to use the word inmate. I always use the word prisoner, right?
Prisoner.
No disrespect to you, but I always use the word prisoner. I write for Criminal Legal News and Prison Legal News, and we're not allowed to use that word. It's kind of like a bad word.
Right.
But you got to think about the prison system, man, and how many jobs does it create? Not just correctional officers, but think about the judges, the lawyers, the people that build the razor wire, the people that build the fencing. As crazy as it might sound, you know how many basketballs and footballs they sell to prisons across this country? I mean,
license plates, clothing.
This is an industry, man. This is an industry, man. And you know, these people are like, you know what? You're the less desirable of our our country. So we're going to easily throw you away, man, with no remorse. These people have no remorse.
And don't care.
You know, you see these people and you would think, you know, these are people, you know, fathers and husbands, and they got families and they're probably good people. Not all of them are nasty. My judge, man, I mean, I love the guy, man. He gave me a second chance, but man, so many of them are, man. They have no compassion. They don't care about you, man. They will give you 20 years like they're giving you a piece of candy.
I do. And I'm not going to get on here and slander anybody, but I know people that are DAs and prosecutors that commit worse crimes than I ever committed. Like, I'm not going to go back and forth with anybody, but I'm like, let's be realistic. This is a game. You know what I mean? It's just about how you play it.
You ever listen to that song 100 Years by Plies?
Yes.
So just listen to that, right? And some people say, it's a racist song. It's got a racist tone. But look what he says, man. You're giving dudes no time for laundering millions, but a dude gets caught with, you know, a little bit of cocaine. You're putting his lights out. You're giving him till the sun burns out. I mean, there's a lot of truth in that, man. I like true music. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. We're going to get – it wouldn't be Spitting with Spitter if we ain't get to the music side of it. That's at the end of the show, though. Most definitely. Right. So why were you compelled to come up with the Blood on the Razor Wire book? It's if I'm not mistaken, memoirs?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the first ever prison memoir, right? Mm-hmm. And I wrote it while I was in Big Sandy, dude. It was to me, it was the toughest prison in the Federal Bureau of Prisons, probably one of the toughest prisons in the country. And, you know, people say, well, you know what, man, the West Coast got tough prisons. New York's got tough prisons. Illinois, Chicago, all that area. But listen, man, let me tell you something. Every day in Big Sandy was a day where you weren't sure if you were going to live or die, man. And, you know, we're not glamorizing it or trying to juice up the channel, but that's what it was, man. People were dying in there, man. People were getting stabbed there on a daily basis. And I felt like when I seen people die there, I said, damn, man, it's like they're leaving their blood on the razor wire, man. Like they're dying here and their spirit's going over the razor wire to wherever it was going. And that's why I came up with the title, man. Because people, and every time I seen someone die or someone stabbed, I said, man, it's the blood on the razor wire. And that was the title of the book, title of the YouTube channel, man. You know, it's my brand.
And it's so creative. Like normally I could care less about names and titles and things like that. You really got to catch my ear with some creativity. And that did it because I was like, well, I already know what the razor wire is, you know, but I need the explanation now. You know what I mean?
Dude, I've seen some things that, you know, a lot of people shouldn't have to see, man. And there's a lot of men just like me that's seen it. You know, I watched my cellie, man, stab the CO over a gallon of wine. I mean, even the CO's blood was left on the razor wire. Regardless if you die there or you live and walk out, man. I mean, when you walk into a prison like that, your life's going to be affected. I don't care if you're a counselor, a cop, a guard, you know, a prisoner, whatever you want to call us. Hey, listen, man, you're not going to leave there unaffected. That's a promise.
Now, you've been home for 10 months, correct?
10 months.
Can I ask you a serious question as to, are you becoming more desensitized being home? And what is your mental health like?
Well, I'm going to keep it real with you. When I first came home, you know, I was in a cell for a long time, man, for many, many years, you know, and I spent some time in solitary confinement. I wasn't always a nice guy. You know, I went to prison at 24 with, you know, a 40-year sentence. I said, man, you know, I might never get out of here. And, you know, I ended up changing my life. But like I said, I wasn't always a nice guy. So when I came home, man, I got it was hard to get a place to live, right? Because I didn't have any credit, but I ended up getting an apartment out in the suburbs. I came home to my city, looked like a third world country. Didn't look like what it looked like when I left. And I ended up living out in the suburbs, but man, I had a hard time sleeping. I used to sleep with a knife every night. So, I was a little messed up there. The parole people wanted me to maybe get a little mental health counseling. I'm like, dude, I'm cool. I'm not crazy. But I ended up I go there once a month or talk to them on the phone because of COVID. But man, I'm perfectly normal, bro. But there are things about me that incarceration has affected, the way I look at people. Out here, I'm like, man, these people are disrespectful, man. Cut in front of you with their grocery cart, Walmart, or, there were certain things when I got out, I had a hard time crossing the street. That was rough with cars. And I'm like, and I hate to say it like this, man, publicly, but man, I like animals more than I like people, bro. Prison destroyed me as far as, people. And as far as what I do with kids, man, it's like I see kids as innocent victims, bro. I see kids that become a product of their environment. Like if your mother's smoking crack, man, and you're 12 years old and you got nothing to eat, what are you going to do, man? You know what I mean? What do you think that kid's going to become? I mean, he's repeating that vicious cycle of poverty and incarceration, man. It's there. That's what's going to happen. So I care about kids because, man, they're innocent victims, bro. They're innocent victims of their parents' choices in most cases. Not in all, but in most cases, man. And they got no, I guess what we call it is, home training. You know what I mean? They don't got that home training. That's why they're disrespectful. That's why they're doing the things that they're doing, man. It's survival, bro.
If you're a product of the street, you're not gonna get the class integrity rules and manners that you're taught in home. Like I tell people all that all the time. Like we got a comment coming in. One of my brothers said, I was afraid of the self-checkout when I came home.
I'm about to tell you something crazy because he just said that. Yesterday was Mother's Day, right? So, I haven't spent a Mother's Day with my mom, man, in 18 years. My mom had a rough life, homie. So I take my mom to my grandmother and my great-grandmother's grave yesterday. I do it often. But I said, man, we ain't got no flowers. We got to go get some flowers. No one had flowers. So I went to Walmart. Told my mom, sit in the car. She's got a bad leg. I ran in there. I got these flowers. There's a long line, right? And I'm like, damn, I got to go to the self-checkout. So I went to the self-checkout and bought them flowers. But, man, I was like, I put the credit card in wrong the first time. I had to pull it out. Then I put it in the second time. It pulled it out too fast. The third time was the charm. I got it. But, man, I was nervous to do that, man. It's crazy that, your viewer just said that. But, yeah, definitely.
And that's my guy. Me and him have talks often. Like I'm another person. I try to love everybody unconditionally, right? But I love my dog and my cat more than most people.
It's a sad reality, bro.
It is what it is, man. It's like it costs $0 to be a decent human being, and then you find people still being shitty to other people for no reason.
For sure. Like I said, man, I seen dudes, man, murdered in my unit, right? I seen the Norteños hit this white kid, man. He was a bulldog out of Northern California, and that was like you said, man. You get a black heart. Sometimes you do, man, for certain people in certain situations. And I said, man, when they gave me 40 years, there's nothing left that could hurt me, unless my mother died. And for real, man, it took, I'm manning up, bro. It took years for me, man, to cry, dude. My dog died, and when my dog died, that my uncle kept. That was the first time I had cried, bro, in 8 or 9 years. You know what I mean? He told me from prison that my dog died. That hurt me. And then I seen this kid get stabbed like I was talking about. And when they stabbed him, he's like, help me, man. And I said, man, I kept it moving. I said, man, I can't help you. Just keep walking, man. Just keep walking and go make it to medical. And, that was one of the times where, man, it hurt me in my heart, man, that this dude just got stabbed over a cell. And he was in the cell. They wanted him out of the cell. He got stabbed. And he asked me for help. And I couldn't help him. And you do get desensitized, man, to violence and anger. And you're just like, it's just another day, man. It's just part of doing time. It's the nature of the business. But when that kid got stabbed like that, they stabbed him in the eye. They took his eye out. It was bad, man. And that affected me a little bit.
Do you think that a part of you suffers some PTSD from being in there for so long?
Yeah, like when I go out to eat and stuff, I always got to sit with my back to the wall.
Yeah.
I need to see what's going on around me, man.
I need to see everything.
Sometimes Dude, I don't want to say certain things out here, but it is what it is, right? Sometimes I think people are following me, man. Like if I'm driving down the road and I make a left turn, they turn left, I make a right. I'm like, who is this, man? The parole people? What's going on? These people following me? But really, they just live in the same neighborhood as me.
I used to call my wife all the time, like, yo, this car's been following me for a couple blocks. I'm not coming right home. I'm going to spin around a couple times.
I've done it. I swear I've done it, man.
They just chimed in and said, I did the same. Yeah, well, I think we all do.
Yeah, crazy, man.
So now your goal, now that you're out, you're home, is you started Freedom Fighters, which is, if you can explain that.
Freedom Fighters is a paralegal and prison consultant firm, man. We do a lot of clemency packages, post-conviction motions, not being arrogant, man, but I win a lot. And I win because I care and because of the way that I write.
God damn.
Sometimes I get dudes, like I got a dude on my line right now. I'm doing a reply for him on a 2255, right? Mm-hmm. And the dude like texts me 5-10 times a day. And finally I'm like, look, man, you just got to let me do my job, man, or I'll give you back your money. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, This is what you hired me for because you trust me. And if I win, then it's all good. I had another guy write me, he says, you know, you did my clemency package. I wasn't overly impressed. It was all right. And I wrote him back and I said, well, if I win and get you out of jail, you'll be impressed then, right? I said, you need to stop being miserable, man. You know, you got to stop. Because
let me do my job.
Sometimes these people don't appreciate you, man, or the work that goes into this stuff, man. Because I'm not doing stuff like, you know, and nothing against lawyers, but sometimes, man, some people do some crappy work, man. But when I do it, I do it. I can't win every case, but I wish that I could. And I don't take cases for people that I think are going to get out and do the wrong thing. And I'm going to tell you why, man, because if I get you out of jail and you do something wrong, you do some bad stuff, like Trump had a dude on the stage with him. He got out under the first step back for a crack case. And a couple of weeks later, he went and beat his girlfriend almost to death, right? I don't want to get dudes out of jail like that because what you're doing now is you're stopping other dudes that deserve to get out. We're going to say, oh, no, we're done with criminal justice reform. We're not doing that. You know, we let this dude out and he went home and killed this person, or he went home and did that. So I got to believe in you, man, in order for me to do your case, man. Straight up.
That's so dope, bro. That's very dope. Dave said, that's awesome, bro. People need help. My past still hurts me. Yeah.
Listen, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure, man. I mean, my past hurts me, dude. I will never again in my life sell drugs, man. Ever. I'd rather be broke, man. And some people might be like, but man, there's too many ways out here, man, to make money. And I'm a firm believer that there's no problem in making $1 if you're making a difference, right? But if you're not making a difference, you shouldn't be making $1. And what I mean by that is you shouldn't be out here scamming people, man, giving false promises, giving false hope. Man, come out here and be the change that you seek to see in others, man. Be who you really say you are. Because if you're not that dude, then go do something else. Maybe you're a construction worker, man. Go do that.
Most definitely. Most definitely. That's why my 9 to 5 is what it is. Everything else is just a bonus. You know what I mean? Like, and I just grind accordingly.
Hey, I mean, the work that I do, like I said, man, I own a home improvement company. I own a paralegal and prison consulting firm. But, man, I grind, man. I grind every day. And it ain't just about money, man. And some people think it's about money. It ain't just about money, man. It's about that you don't want to see, like I said, I don't want to see these dudes go down the path that I went down, the path that, you know, Jimmy Romans went down, or I got brothers still in there, man. One of my best friends, Bradley Barn, Christopher Hunter. Dudes are doing 30, 35 years, man, for nonviolent drug offenses. And I've done everything in my power to get these guys out of jail, man. And sometimes I feel hopeless. But let me tell you this, right? When I left prison, I told dudes, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the voice of the voiceless. And everything that I said I was going to do, I came out here and I did it, man. People are like, oh, you're getting out. You got, you know, COVID-19. You got to just take it easy, man. Just, you know, get acclimated. Man, the first day I was home, man, I was on my job, man. I was putting this thing together, man. I had a vision and I seen it and I believed in it. And that's what I'm doing.
That's all you can. You can't get time back. You know, you can't get time back. So look, as you should, you know what I mean? A real hustler's mentality expects that from you. You know what I mean? Like, we've wasted enough time.
I tell people that. I said, look, man, I'm 18 years behind. That's on my homeboy that this morning. He said, damn, dude, you don't ever take time for yourself. I said, I promised myself for 1 year I was going to work nonstop. And then I was going to take a 1 week vacation after I got a year out. And then I'm back on the grind, man, because I am 18 years behind. You know what I mean?
We were talking about that this morning. we had talked pre-show, and we're both tired.
I am. I'm tired. I get tired, man.
I'm both tired. You know, like the people that watching that know me know what my grind consists of, and your grind's crazy. Your grind's crazy.
I work, man. I work nonstop, man. I work hard, man. But you know, and then like I said, it ain't just about me, man. Like even your viewers, man. Just check out my channel, man. Look what I'm doing. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. I'm not making no money. You know how much money I spent putting that YouTube channel together?
If y'all just tuning in, go check out his book. The link is in the description. Blood on the Razor Wire. Go to the YouTube channel, Blood on the Razor Wire. Click the like, click the subscribe, get notified when his videos upload. Yo, I promise you, it's great content. And you know I don't co-sign nobody's shit. So let's be clear.
I appreciate you, man. But we got to miss it, man. We got a voice, man. We got to use it, man.
Have to use it, man. We'd be doing a disservice if we didn't.
Everybody has a story to tell. It just depends on how you tell it and what you do with it.
Before we get out of here, I need to know what kind of music are you listening to? What's in your playlist? What gets you through the day?
Let me tell you something, man. I'm kind of old school, right? Like
me too.
A lot of people are probably like, I put a lot of DJ Clue on my Apple Music thing. That's Jada Kiss is probably my favorite rapper. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I was down south for a long time in federal prison. Believe it or not, man, I listen to country music too, and I like it, man. I actually like it. But mainly I like Post Malone too. Someone put me onto him in jail. We have these little MP3 players that they sell. This is what we use in the feds, right? I brought mine home with me, man. It's a token to never forget where I was at. And on that thing there, man, I had a lot of Jada Kiss, a lot of Jay-Z. I'm from New York, man. I'm an East Coast dude. So you're from Jersey, right?
DJ, yeah. He said DJ Clue. We used to collect all the tapes back in the day. The Cluminatis, Clue for President.
That's what I listen to, man. And I might be coming through the hood. I got a nice car. I got a red Audi 2018 S5, and I know they probably hear me playing that, and they're like. all treble on them Clue tapes back in the day. Yeah, man, I'm old school, man. You know what I mean? I had a kid tell me, man, like I'm wearing polo pants, they're baggy and stuff because I can't get into the skinny jean thing. And the kid was like, man, you got on daddy pants. I said, what the hell is daddy pants? He said, them are pants that people's fathers wear, man. I said, man, I'm old, man. I'm 42 years old, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not wearing no skinny jeans, man.
I tell you like this, man. Listen, I can't do it. I'm too big for skinny jeans, first and foremost. Secondly, I'm a retired sneakerhead, I believe. You're not gonna catch me in them XJ 900s mowing my grass and grilling. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Hey, that's the one thing that I seen when I got out, and I was just like, that's the one thing, man, that I don't know if it bothered me, it just bugged me out. I was like, man, I would never wear no pants like that. I'm skinny. I'm out here laughing and joking, man. It was just crazy.
Listen, before we get out of here, what's the one thing that you're going to say to the little 13-year-old that's out on the corner that just got his first package that wants to move up in the game?
If I was talking to a 13-year-old that just got a package, I'm going to tell him my story, man. I'm going to say, I was just like you, but I want to ask you a question. I want to know what you're worth. And when he tells me, and I taught a class, and I used to ask people this, and people would tell me, I'm worth $1 million, man. I'm worth $1 billion. I want his answer. And I'm going to tell him, you know what, man? You're priceless, man. But right now, how much dope you got in your pocket? You got that package. What do you got in your pocket? $2,500 worth of dope? $2,500 worth of crack? I said, right now, that's what you're worth, man, because you're taking a chance with your life. That gun you got in your waist, that's what you're worth. You're taking a chance with your life. But at the end of the day, man, I want you to know that you're priceless. Shit's rough out here. I understand that. But if you can sell drugs, you can do anything. You're a young businessman. You're just in the wrong business. That's what I would tell him, man. Think about what you're worth. Go look in that mirror, man, and ask yourself, man, are you worth more than the $2,500 of drugs sitting in your pocket right now? Ask yourself that. And if you come back and say no, then do what you do. But if you're honest with yourself and you tell yourself that you're priceless, find another route, man. There's other ways, man. It might not come as fast, but I'll tell you what, they can't take it away from you as fast either. Because when they take it, you're going to prison. And I've seen plenty of people, man, that have been in prison that were out here balling, getting money. I'm talking about getting real money. And now they're in jail and can't even buy a suit, bro. Literally, man. I want to tell you before we do go, man, I was with a dude, man, copped out to 25 years, filed a 2255. He had a couple murder cases. He knew, man, that he did this shit. And he copped out to 25 years. He filed a 2255 and he won. But he didn't get out of jail, man. He went back to court and they said, you know, we could have charged you with these murders. It's iffy, but now we're going to take your ass to trial. And he went to trial and he got 3 life sentences. He would have been home many years ago. He's been in 29 years now. And when I ended up running into him at I was with him in Big Sandy. I ended up running into this dude. He's out of Detroit, Michigan. I ended up running into him years later. And I'm like, he was the man in Big Sandy, bro. He had all the dope he had. And when I ran into him this time, he didn't even have a bar of soap, man. He was sick. He had some kind of medical issues and he was in bad shape. And I'm just like, you know, you had 25 years. You could have been home, 8, 9 years ago. You were getting money in Big Sandy, blew all your money, and now you're over here, man, without even a bar of soap. Don't be that guy, man. You're 13 years old. Don't be that guy. Don't be that dude from Detroit, man.
Yeah, most definitely don't. Blood on the Razor Wire YouTube. The book is called Blood on the Razor Wire. That's Chad Marks. I'm TJ Spitter. My brother, again, is an honor and a blessing to have you on, man. And I appreciate it. Before you go, is there anything you'd like to ask me?
Nah, I'm going to have you come on my show, man. Just, hey, I appreciate you and I appreciate what you're doing because, like I said, man, it ain't always about money, man. And what you're doing, you're helping people, man. And if we change one person's life today from this video, then we accomplished our mission, man. And I appreciate you, man. Keep your head up, man.
Most definitely. That's all, man. We signing out, man. Have a blessed day, y'all. We out of here.